Hello, I'm Mark,
I'm Casey.
And I'm Patrick.
and today we're going to talk about maybe some inflated insurance rates, but we'll find out shortly after we roll this title.
Magic insurance money.
You're watching the Tesla Life Express Edition.
Hey everyone, thanks so much for joining us today on the Tesla Life Express. Got my two favorite co-hosts, Casey Green, Patrick Connor, joining us.
Hello, hello.
Hello to you too. You threw me off with that, Patrick.
It's all right.
That's okay. That's all right.
Hello to you too, buddy.
You got all sorts of new intros when we roll now. But yeah, thanks so much for joining us. Today's topic we wanted to touch upon was an article that, of course, we'll link in the notes below if you want to read the full article. But this article talks a little bit about the latest trend in some Tesla vandalism that's been happening. Customer cars. We've got dealer locations being broken into. We've got glass being shot up. We've got vehicles being Molotov cocktailed. A lot of damage happening to Tesla's cars themselves, and of course to customer cars that we're seeing even more of lately. But the question and this article brings up is there going to be an issue with people insuring their cars going forward? With these cars being, I guess, circled out that these are people are going after specific cars. We have websites that are doxing people, telling people where they live, how many cars they have, what kind of car to expect in the driveway. These type of things are and could be a problem going forward with owners. And are their insurance companies going to start raising rates because of this? Is this an issue that we as owners are going to be paying through our pocketbooks because we've got a car that's now being singled out and advertised that the radicals out there are wanting to damage them, destroy them. It's something that you really don't want to think about, but in today's world, this could be a possibility. So want to throw it around to the two of you and see your thoughts on this this particular trend that we're seeing, and will it affect insurance?
There's a chance that there'll be some effect, but I don't think that it's going to be as dire as the current rhetoric is going to be. They have regulations that they have to follow as far as how quickly they can yank your situation around. That doesn't mean that if you weren't at a place that already didn't want to have your EV in the first place, that they won't just drop you, like we're starting to see with like home insurance and other types of policies in Florida and California, Texas. However, thankfully, in the grand scheme of things, so far, all of these actions have been very small in the grand scheme of things, and that kind of helps that Tesla has become a real automaker. They're the largest, well, probably the only one remaining in California, but they're still one of the largest on the continent, and then you can't miss them worldwide either, even with their 4 factories. And so we're looking at just a small percentage if they could keep this up daily with their destruction. The other concern with that, though, is as I said in the intro, it's not magic money. It's they are several comedians have put it as you tell the insurance company, I bet you I'm going to have a loss. And they say, we bet you won't, and it'll be $500 a year or whatever. And they say, okay, I'll take that bet. Or I say you say that, but you might not have a choice. You might be legally obligated to buy insurance. But either way, you say, okay, this is what it is. We're going to pay, and nothing will happen. We're going to pay in case something does happen. They say, okay. And as these occur, that changes their math. They use actuarial tables all the time for everything. And so that changes the body of of data, the prediction, the truth in the numbers. And they're like, oh, it's a victimless crime. Insurance will take care of it. Well, your insurance will take care of it. You bet them, say, $500 a year that you would not get into a crash or whatever. And now you did. So you got to pay your deductible. They do the repair. And next time they say, oh, well, you're more risky. You clearly had something happen. They're going to raise your rates by this much based on these numbers because you're going to ride high in the tables. And so all the folks saying, oh, yeah, it's victimless. It's not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Good point on the victimless crime. It's you end up as the policy holder, you end up paying regardless. You know,
But not just
you may not have to pay the whole thing out, obviously, but
Right.
there is a deductible to pay, and there is the time that you're going to lose as you play around with the insurance company trying to get your car reimbursed and try to get another one ordered and waiting for the new one to come in and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, this is just repairs.
For time and money.
This is without even losing the car. This is just to get it repaired. And so also with that, your fellow customers, their prices and rates, they all go up by a little bit as well. So if they are not Tesla heavy, so if it's not Tesla insurance, they might see like a quarter on the next bill goes up to 25 cents when they renew. Probably not that much for one car, but like if enough of us are among them, if it's somebody Tesla heavy aside from Tesla insurance, then and they don't drop us, that could be even more. Then as to Mark was saying, you've got I was referring to just repairs. Then you've got the concern of what if they total loss your vehicle? They say, hey, this is that lump of metal is worth less than us just canceling it. If it's worth more, then they'll repair it because that's going to be cheaper. But so now they've washed your car out. My car's 7 years old. Even if they did have a new car replacement guarantee, whatever, I can't call up the 7-year-old car factory and get another one.
Yeah,
exactly.
So it won't be a new Model X unless the prices come down significantly from where they're holding me at, and I'm pretty sure they're holding me at wherever this thing was. So anywhere from 30,000 to 16,000, depending on when they redo the books. And right now they're not holding high on their value. They never really did, but right now the markets are saturated. You've got the people who are giving into the bullying; they're rushing to sell. You've got the federal government as getting rid of all of their electric cars, including all the Teslas and Chevys they just bought for the embassies and other places that they use electric cars. They're ripping out their charging stations. Then you've got the rental car companies. They are dumping their cars. They already do have the short cycle, and they never broke out of it for whatever reason. So you've got them. And so you've got like a quadruple storm against you for it will be easier if you want to pick up a used car, but as far as what your car is worth on the getting out of it side when it's slag. So that's not going to be fun. And then if you do have the new car guarantee and everything, it's probably still the same situation as mine, where it'll be some value plus, unless it was like within 3 years or within 2 years or whatever your company's.
And then you're going to be required to put up the difference if you want the new car, regardless. So again, that hits you in the pocketbook immediately.
Yes, and then if you didn't have gap insurance and you had a loan on it, and again, I said these things drop in value rather quickly because this is my daughter's iPad. How who wants the last model next year? There will be people, but not as many, and so it drops really fast. Versus say like a film camera or something that durable that people are used to. So you've got that effect as well when it comes time to change out. So some of them will say, if your car goes within 3 years, we'll give you the same price as what you paid for it or whatever. That's cool because Tesla does this. If you catch it at the right part, you're fine. But most people don't have that. So back to what I was saying about the gap insurance. So with the gap is where that price has gone down. You've got a loan for let's call it $50,000 for a base Model Y or a high range Model 3. It's gone down because of all of this pressure on the market. You owe $52,000 for some reason. You've got interest, you've got extra paperwork and stuff, and somebody does something to your car. It's now a puddle. You still owe $52,000. They say the car was worth $41,000. You have to come up with $9,000 plus your down payment on the new car. That is the gap.
Yeah,
and that's what gap.
Patrick, what are your thoughts on this? Does it make sense that?
Let me finish real quick though. So that's what gap insurance is, and that's why if your insurance company offers it, or if your finance company offers it, that is why it's worth considering if you are not putting a hefty down payment down or paying cash for the car.
Yeah, you don't want to be underwater and then still paying for something that you don't own anymore. That's horrible. So my thoughts on this article. So it was an interesting article. They talked about how Kia and Hyundais were susceptible to theft and how that information had spread on TikTok and other social media, and that caused a rash of thefts, and that actually did impact the insurance rates on those particular models until Kia came out with some fix. And
they had to abbreviate the fix.
Right. Yes. And then if you could tell your insurance company you had that, then you could go back to your normal rate. But my understanding is that with insurance, they treat collisions and theft differently than vandalism. And with vandalism, but with the first two, they're looking at the model of the vehicle, the make model of the vehicle extensively, because to see if there's correlations there. Like Casey said, they do everything with actuarial tables. But with vandalism, they're more looking at the location, the zip code. And so that could increase everybody's in that zip code. If this is known as a vandalism area and you live in that area, your insurance rates could go up. Yeah. And so it wouldn't be just Tesla owners that were impacted by this. And then Casey made another point that I want to reiterate. Tesla makes 1.9 million vehicles a year. And I don't know how many cars have been damaged recently, but it's, a couple dozen. So percentage-wise, your chances are better getting hit by lightning or winning Powerball than being a victim of this. But it gets a lot of media attention. And so that's why this is like there were a couple Tesla fires early on in 2013, 14, and you still hear people say, "Oh, those Teslas catch on fire," because it got so much media attention, even though it was a couple vehicles, and it's far lower, like a third the rate of gas cars, and yet it's man bites dog kind of stories.
To the point where with these, like the first thing they say is, "Oh, well, did it do it on its own, or was this external?" And they're like, "What electric car starts fire on the roof?"
Right. So. I hope nobody's insurance rate goes up because of this. It's ridiculous. We when the Model 3 first came out, there were a lot of break-ins in San Francisco area, and that was why Sentry Mode was. People were saying, "Hey, what can you do? I've got these cameras. Can you help?" And Tesla was like, "Hey, that's a great idea. Let's make our cameras smarter and record when people get near the car." And it's really kind of cool. When I get back in my car, if I've been parked somewhere publicly, I look and see if there's any Sentry Mode events. And so it's nice that you've got that feature. And some of the people that are doing this vandalism have no clue that the Teslas have this, and they're going to get caught because of it. And I hope they do, and I hope they go to jail or pay restitution or both or whatever. I hope justice is served, I guess is my point.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's the point about Sentry Mode. On all the cars that have it, in the latest updates, when you get back to the car, it's just right there. Hey, this many events, and on the latest software, on the legacies, it still can sometimes take a while to load up the app. Just wait a couple extra seconds, and it'll zoom straight to whatever triggered it. So you don't have to scroll around or wait for 2 minutes of silence and then that's why somebody walked by. And then on the newer cars that have the live Sentry View and the actually smart summon feature, they have in the app. This also requires you have the premium connectivity or be parked under known Wi-Fi. And by known Wi-Fi, I mean it knows how to get on to the Wi-Fi with password or whatever. You can then from your app, you can both look at the events as they happen. You can just check in on the car for a certain amount of minutes per day, events per day. And then you can now, this is a newer feature, you can download those events that you've previewed from the car to your device. So that way you don't have to go out to the car to get the stick and then forget to put it back in. And it's a mess. But that's out of the way. And so if something happened and you're out like at a hotel or someplace strange, you can be like, hey, officer, here's what happened. I can email it to you.
Right.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's like you said, it's a small amount when you look at the overall picture of the 1.9 million vehicles produced a year currently. And you're right, the media attention is about sensational things, and that's a sensational thing to report upon. So it probably is a bit of a an overblown situation. But it is somewhat alarming that we've been seeing more and more reports in different parts of the country, in different countries. But it's something that, as Patrick had mentioned a long time ago, it was the San Francisco Bay Area was targeted, and a little while ago it was Germany was a targeted area. So yes, but what we will keep an eye on is if this frequency does increase, it could affect insurance. But the interesting point that Patrick had is that vandalism is handled differently than crashes or total
theft
losses. So it's something that is that the zip code would be more affected compared to Tesla as a particular car manufacturer. So that's interesting to know.
And that's good in several ways, actually, though, because one, they'll know that, hey, the ne'er-do-wells live here, so you park here, so you will pay more. Why is that a good thing? Well, we saw instances of Rivians and Polestars, in particular, suffering the brunt of this. They burnt a Polestar to a crisp, and they scratched a Rivian, not realizing that Rivians also have gear guard, which is the same as Sentry mode. And they caught themselves in HD. Hey, look at me and my company on my back.
Yep.
So that does also help them with subrogation, which means that they can go and get their money back that they paid you for fixing your vehicle. So that will actually help lower the cost of everything for everybody and you. And the other cool thing about this is because they are in the tables, this will reflect in the tables, but it won't reflect in the tables the way that we see it in the news all the time. Like, oh, there's a fire. Oh, there's this and that. They might see just a little 0.01 variance, and they'll adjust for it, but it won't be like what we are seeing in the news. Like, oh my goodness, how could you be in that? It's just a terrible thing. Blah blah blah.
Exactly.
Well, so you out there watching this, what do you think? Are you concerned? Do you think there's an issue that could be happening with insurance? Have you had some bad experience with insurance when it comes to your vehicle? Let us know in the comments. I'd like to hear from you as well. But with that, I think we will wrap it. And little shout outs, Casey, what do you got for us?
Yeah, a couple for you. And then also in the comments, if you have Tesla insurance, how do you feel about this? What do you think? They run things a little differently, not too much differently, but a little. Like they are able to swing faster than the others because they have your driving data straight from the car. And I'm curious how you guys feel. Like, I mean, you don't have to know the facts, but how does it feel to you? If you know the facts, it'd be even better. I'm curious to read them. But this is the Tesla Life Express Edition 1. So coming up on Sunday, you can catch us at youtube.com/KCEgreen, KACEYGREEN, or at GCustom for X. And on there, we've got a stream like this where you can chat with us, interact. But on X, we have a sidecar. It's a Spaces where you can kind of, hey, first-time caller, you can call in and we can talk on the line, which is pretty fun. We've done it now. This is going to be the third time or the fourth time, but it's been a blast. We've had a couple people in there. Then come back here Monday for the Tesla Life Express Edition 2. And you already see what you got here. We pick a topic, we expand upon it versus having to fit everything into a 1 hour. And then catch us back live for the Tesla Life Live on Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern. And then, same format, 1 hour. We talk about all the Tesla news, and we'll see you there.
Sounds good, Patrick.
As always, I'm with the Oregon Electric Vehicle Association. You can find us at oeva.org, and I blog occasionally at carswithcords.net, where I write about my future free from fossil fuels.
Got it in. Thanks so much, everyone, for joining us. Follow us through the week on our Twitter feed at the Tesla Life, and we will check in with you next time and find out together what's happening in the Tesla Life. Fireworks.